A warm welcome to the Sports Talk and Golf Digest Middle East Omega Dubai Desert Classic preview. My name's Ben Jacobs, the editor of Sports Talk, and alongside me, Robbie Greenfield, the editor of Golf Digest Middle East. The tournament, the finale to the Desert Swing, runs from Thursday until Sunday and is one of the most charismatic here in the Middle East. Robbie, this tournament has so much history.
It does, it has everything. It's been going for 24 years now. All the great names in golf have won here, and let's remember, this is where the Desert Swing really got started. None of these other tournaments would exist without the Omega Dubai Desert Classic, the very famous Majlis course, the first grass course in the region. And again, as I mentioned, the biggest names in golf have won here. Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy capturing his first European Tour event in 2009. So really it's a tournament with a lot of prestige and a lot of history, and it's always a huge event on the European Tour.
Another stellar field as the tournament approaches its 25th anniversary next year. The defending champion Rafael Cabrera Bello, alongside him Sergio Garcia and Lee Westwood. Those two the biggest of the field. Let's start with Sergio, Robbie, before we hear from Lee Westwood as well. The Spaniard had laser eye surgery just before the DP World Tour Championship Dubai and seems to have found some form in the last 6 months or so, particularly with the putter.
Yeah, and a new attitude as well. I was speaking to him yesterday and he's really refocused himself in the last year or so. He won on the PGA Tour after a long break, having not done that in 2012 at the Wyndham in August. He had a good Ryder Cup. Let's remember he avenged his singles defeat in '99 at Brookline with a win over Jim Furyk in the singles at Medina, which was huge for him, and like many of the other European Tour players has carried that wave of confidence into the new year. Did very well at Qatar last week, and we're expecting him to challenge on a course that he's done well on before. Yeah,
Sergio's victory at the Ryder Cup in that miracle at Medina was pivotal, as was Justin Rose's over Phil Mickelson, and Sergio really singled that one out along with the performance of Ian Poulter. Lee Westwood a part of the Ryder Cup too, and he is the headline name here at Emirates Golf Club. Westwood, Robbie, has a good record in some senses at this tournament, in the sense he's been up there, but he may see it as a bad record because 3 times he's been runner-up and has still failed to win it.
Yeah, and he's had his chances. I mean, he really should have beaten Miguel Angel Jimenez in 2010, and last year he was greenside in 2, just needing to get up and down to force a playoff with Rafael Cabrera Bello, and he hit a pretty poor chip and failed to do that. So he's been the bridesmaid 3 times here, and it's a course he feels he should have won on before. So he's got something to prove this week.
Well, let's hear from Lee Westwood now. These are the Englishman's thoughts ahead of the tournament.
I think it's just really fair. You know, you hit the fairways and you hit the greens, you give yourself lots of birdie chances and you can score low. But if you start missing fairways and you don't hit it so well, you know, it becomes a tricky course fast. So, you know, I think it rewards good play. You know, I've played a lot more this winter than I would normally play, and it's a place I've loved. You know, I lost to Miguel in the playoff in, I don't know what year it is. They're all blending in a bit now, but it was a few years ago, and I felt like I should have won that one. And then last year, you know, just put it off the last round and lost by a shot. I had plenty of chances, so you know, I feel like I've let a couple slip there. So hopefully I won't make the same mistake this year.
That was the former world #1 Lee Westwood speaking before the tournament. One of the things, Robbie, that he mentioned is the Majlis golf course here at Emirates Golf Club is a fair course. What does he mean by that?
Well, it means that if you get the ball in play and you hit the fairways and you hit the greens, you'll be rewarded. It's not quirky. You won't get too many bad bounces around here. And, you know, good golf will get rewarded at the end of the day.
Well, we're going to be looking at the 9th and 18th holes very shortly. They have a unique shared green. But aside from those two, what are some other key holes to look out for?
You know, I think the fact there's 3 par 5s on the back 9 of the Majlis really create excitement because it enables players to make a charge. We saw Tiger Woods in 2008 shoot 31 on the back 9 to win it from Ernie Els by 1. And it's a course rather like Augusta where someone gets on a roll, they might drop an eagle on, I don't know, the 3rd or the 13th, and suddenly they get on a roll and they really build momentum, and there's a lot of scoreable holes. So it's a very, very exciting golf course, and it's always created drama. The last 8 Dubai Desert Classics have all come down to the last hole, which is not something we can say for any other tournament in the Middle East. So it really is a golf course that lends itself to an exciting finish.
Well, as you come up towards the turn, and also as Robbie mentioned down the 18th, you see a shared green complex with the hospitality stands right behind it. It really creates an amphitheatre of golf. The green on that 9th and 18th is certainly unique for this region, and a little earlier in the week, Robbie and the head pro here at Emirates Golf Club, Stephen Deane, took a closer look at it.
Okay, we're standing here on the 9th green of the Majlis course, a green that is shared with the 18th, the closing hole here at Emirates Golf Club. And the 9th is actually the hardest par 4 traditionally on the Majlis, averaging 4.42 on the card last year, with most players either making par or dropping a shot, or some even, including John Daly, going on to make some horrific scores, doubles and triple bogeys. So it's a very difficult hole and a very important hole as far as the Desert Classic is concerned, coming at the end of the front 9. Now I'm joined with Stephen Deane, the head pro here at Emirates Golf Club. Stephen, what makes the 9th such a difficult hole, would you say?
Well, there's a few different elements, Robbie. Obviously, if we look back at the hole here, you can see the water, which is at the front of the hole, so it makes club selection very, very crucial. You've got the grandstands at the back, which kind of disguises the wind, so club selection can be difficult. What you don't want to do here is obviously come up short. Again, the green slopes from back to front, so anything long as well is going to make your chip shot down to the pin very, very difficult. The green's extremely fast, and trying to get the ball close to the hole can prove a tough test for the players.
Now the tee shot is also a test, isn't it? Because the fairway slopes down to the water, the winds can play havoc, and the guys need to be in the right position off the fairway to then be able to open up the correct angle to attack what is essentially quite a narrow target area for this green.
Again, off the tee, you've got the water long, but on the right hand side, which is probably the safer shot, you've got the trees in the bunker. If your ball does land in those trees or in that bunker, again, your approach shot to the green is difficult. So again, club selection is crucial, and just trying to find the fairway really, which these guys tend to do well often, but in this hole sometimes it does prove difficult.
With the bailout position, we're looking across here to the hospitality pavilions that flank this amphitheatre that's shared between the 9th and 18th green. You'd think that there would be a margin for error, wouldn't you, with the players coming in, but it's not often the case, because the rough is so difficult here and so deep that short-siding yourself and chipping to a green that runs downhill is not the way forward, is it?
No, certainly not in this hole. The rough surrounding the green's very, very thick, very, very deep, so getting the control over the golf ball can prove difficult. The benefit here is the green is quite large, so probably Friday, Saturday the pin may be in an easy position, but come Sunday certainly the greenkeeper will stick the pin at the front. Anything in this deep rough, you could walk off with a 5 or 6, 7, who knows.
Okay, well this is a hole that the players will just be looking to get through with a safe 4. We're going to cross the 50 yards or so to the 18th green and take a look at the most iconic closing hole in the Middle East. Okay, we've moved on to the side of 18 here at the Majlis course. An amazing hole, an iconic hole, and a hole that has decided every one of the last 8 Dubai Desert Classics, often in the most dramatic of circumstances. We've seen champion Rafael Cabrera Bello hold on for a par last year, Rory McIlroy heroically get up and down from the back bunker just behind me in 2009 to win his first event on the European Tour, and of course the memorable playoff between Tiger Woods and Ernie Els in 2006 that all came down to this fantastic 18th hole here at the Majlis. Now, Stephen, it's a classic risk and reward hole, isn't it, this 18th? It's a hole where you need to shape your tee shot right to left off the tee, which presents a decision. Do you lay up short of this green, or do you go for it in 2? And that's what always gets the golfers, isn't it, on this final day?
Well, for sure, Robbie. Obviously, it's really down to where are you sitting in the tournament. Are you 1 shot behind the lead, or do you have a 2-shot lead? Obviously, if you get your tee shot off and you're 1 shot behind, really you have to go for it. It's a great opportunity to make 4 or make 3 and even win the tournament outright. If you do have a 2-shot lead, you're probably going to lay up. But again, then you face a tricky 3rd shot over the water, which in the past we've seen players hit the green, spin back, make 6, make 7, and then they've lost their opportunity.
Again, the hospitality pavilions that we see behind us have such an impact, don't they? Because the wind is difficult to sense down here on the fairway, but can blow quite strong up the top over those pavilions.
Exactly, like very similar to the 9th, the hospitality units do shadow the wind, so again, club selection is difficult. Again, you want to probably favour or err on the safe side and play long, but then again, if you do miss the green, you've got a difficult pitch from the long rough, and to try and stop it on the green with the pin at the front, which is generally the Sunday position, is difficult.
It's a hole that we have seen some famous eagles here, of course. In 2005, Ernie Els hit a huge drive, just a 7-iron onto the green and rolled in a putt from 15 feet. But traditionally, in the last 4 years, the last 4 champions of the Omega Dubai Desert Classic have all made a regulation par here.
Exactly. Well, you know, the nerves and the tension, it all plays its part. You know, you've got a lot of spectators here in the last. A lot of the winners are new winners as well. They haven't been in that situation before, so you can see it, you can feel the pressure, and it has shown in the results and the scores over the last few years.
Okay, well, this was the 18th hole on the Majlis course, the crowning hole of the Omega Dubai Desert Classic, and sure to provide a huge amount of drama come Sunday afternoon on February the 3rd.
Well, that was Robbie and Stephen Deane, the head pro here at Emirates Golf Club, looking at the shared green complex of the 18th and the 9th. Emirates Golf Club always seems to provide a thrilling and dramatic finish to this tournament. So, prediction time. It's often close, but we're going to put each other on the spot. You, of course, first, Robbie, so I can get a gauge as to where you're going to go. An out-and-out winner and then a dark horse who could find themselves on the leaderboard.
All right, well, for my out-and-out winner, I'm going to make a fairly obvious choice, and I'm going to say it's going to be Lee Westwood. And I'll give you a reason. He's just moved to Florida on a full-time basis, as he mentioned in his press conference, and that's given him a chance to work on his game during the off-season in better weather than he's used to at Worksop in Nottingham, near Nottingham. And he's just going to come into this season a little bit more tournament ready, I think. And because he's come so close in the past, I think he's going to get over the line this time and finally win the Omega Dubai Desert Classic. As a dark horse tip, I'm going to go for the Portuguese Ricardo Santos, who's on a pretty good run so far at this Desert Swing. He came 22nd in Qatar, contended, albeit briefly, in Abu Dhabi, but he was a few shots back from the leaders there. But he's on a good run, so if you're looking for a player that's perhaps not so familiar, Ricardo Santos is your man. So come on then.
Well, mine have a nice synergy to them. Batman and Robin, they are called, and they're right behind us as well. Joel Schlerm is my dark horse. He's actually playing very well in the Middle East. He was well under par in both Abu Dhabi and particularly Doha as well, a top 20 finish there. And we know he's such a likeable guy, and Atlanta's ambassador. He'll clearly feel at home in this region. And having watched him on the range and in Doha and Abu Dhabi, he seems to be striking the ball pretty sweetly as well. Now, my out-and-out winner has often been called a dark horse in the past, but I'm told rule-wise I'm not allowed to call him anymore a dark horse. So Torbjørn Olsen, now he has signed for Nike and best friends with Joel Schlerm, second in Abu Dhabi, had a 12-footer up the hill to try and take that particular tournament to playoff, and again also made the cut and got himself a top 30 finish in Doha as well. So I fancy him third time lucky to do the business, with Joel, who, remember, was tied for 7th here in Dubai last year, not too far behind him. So my two tips, just to reiterate, are Batman and Robin, the Batman being Joel Schlerm and the Robin being Torbjørn Olsen. Just reiterate your choices as well, Robbie.
As a dark horse, it's going to be the Portuguese Ricardo Santos and that man Lee Westwood to win it.
Well, that's all we've got time for here in our preview to the Omega Dubai Desert Classic. Once again, tournament starts on Thursday and runs until Sunday right here at Emirates Golf Club in Emirates Hills. Do come down. Big crowds are always expected. During the tournament, you can tweet us your predictions or thoughts. I am at JacobsBen or at ME Sports Talk. Robbie, your Twitter handle?
It's at Rob_Greenfield, and the Facebook is facebook.com/GolfDigestME.
And Sports Talk can be found on Facebook as well, facebook.com/ME Sports Talk. That's all we've got time for from Robbie Greenfield, the editor of Golf Digest Middle East, and myself, Ben Jacobs, the editor of Sports Talk. Thanks for watching and enjoy the Omega Dubai Desert Classic.